Hello and welcome to Stamp Making with Potatoes. This is a project for the December holidays, but really you could do it almost any time. To start with, you're going to need some potatoes, a butter knife, and something to draw with. I have a marker here, but I also ended up using a pencil. The pencil is pretty handy. There's one more thing you're going to need, your favorite adult. Because this activity involves cutting, you're going to need that adult to be the one who chops the potatoes. And they need to chop it straight down so that it can have flat sides. Well, let's get started with the pineapple. I did mine with 2 different potatoes. One for the bottom and one for the top. So let's look right at it. Now, my potato is already pretty much the right shape for the body of the pineapple. So I'm just going to start by drawing these diagonal lines and then crisscrossing them on my potato. I'm going to cut those lines out later. Next, I'm going to draw the top part. And as you can see, my potato is still a little bit wet, so it might actually be better for you to use a pencil for this part. It just depends on how dry your potato is. So I'm making the leaf part at the top. I got some spiky leaves there. Maybe you can see it. Now I'm going to come in with my butter knife. I chose a plastic one. That way if I slip and mess up, I'm not going to cut my finger, right? A potato is a lot softer than your hand, so a plastic knife is fine for cutting a potato. So I'm going to go through, and if you notice, I'm cutting on both sides of those black lines and trying to take out a skinny little piece of potato. That's going to help me when I'm printing. Those parts that I'm cutting out are what is going to be blank on the paper. There we go. Make sure you don't cut down too far into the potato because you don't want to cut through your potato either. Just make a little groove in that potato. You might have to use a pencil to clean out some of the little grooves and notches that you make. Go. So why did I pick a pineapple? Well, I'm actually going to make some Kwanzaa wrapping paper, and you may remember that Kwanzaa actually means first fruits of the season. So I went with a fruit theme for my Kwanzaa wrapping paper. It's not always easy to find wrapping paper for Kwanzaa. It's easy to find it for maybe Christmas or Hanukkah, but not so much for Kwanzaa, so I decided to make some of my own. So here I am, I'm cutting out the leaf pattern for the top of my pineapple. And first I'm just going to cut kind of straight down. There we go. Now I'm cutting the side of my potato, and I'm trying to take out all those parts that are not part of my leaves. So as you can see, all the space in between the leaves ends up looking kind of like some triangle shapes, right? I'm cutting underneath to take that part out. So at the end, I'm going to have a raised portion of my potato that is leaf shaped. So that stalky leaf. There we go. So there's my leaf. Clean it out. And I can come back to that and get printing later. Next, let's carve out our banana shape. So again, I'm starting with the same kind of potato, and it's already round on one side like a banana, so that's good. I'm just going to make kind of a moon shape, and I'm going to cut out the part that's not the moon. Crescent shape, right? So after I cut that out, I actually want to add a few details just so people know that this is a banana and not the moon, actually. So I put a little line there with my pencil, and you can dig in with your pencil too. If you don't have a knife, or if you don't want to use a knife, you can use a pencil to dig away. And the ends of my banana are going to be a little bit flattened. Next we have the melon. And you can actually use different colors for this. There's all kinds of melons. I just made mine a red and green watermelon just so I would have some different colors. So I'm starting with the one piece that I've cut in half, and I'm using both sides that are the same shape, this half circle shape. One piece is going to be the green part, the rind or skin of the watermelon. And that's this first part. I'm going to cut out that smaller bit in the middle. There we go. Just carefully peel that up. There we go. So that's the rind. Now on my other piece, I'm going to try to match it, but I'm going to carve out the opposite part. This time I'm going to cut away what would be the rind, and I'm going to leave the middle part right there. So I'm cutting around, this time, cutting off that rind part. There we go. And now this part should fit just inside the rind part that I cut earlier. There they go. They fit together. That's good. That's what I want. Alright, now I'm going to clean up my mess so that I can start printing. Gotta have a clean surface before I can print. Okay. In the next video, we'll figure out how to print, whether you have stamp pads or whether you want to use paint. Okay. And we're going to be making some wrapping paper with patterns on it. I've got the pineapple, banana, melon, and I'll even show a couple of extra bonus shapes like the orange. Well, I hope you had fun making your stamps, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.